Hi there, I am Mega Ginge. You're watching the Ginger Transformer. Today we're going to be talking about the descendants of the Autobots, the Maximals. What do we know about the Maximals? Well, I'm not going to lie, until recently, I only knew of Beast Wars, Beast Machines, until about a week ago. Then I found out there was Beast Wars 2 and Beast Wars Neo. I have binged both of them, so I have a lot more information than I would have had previous. What I personally now know is that Beast Wars is actually set that 10,000 years, give or take, after the events of the original Generation 1 Transformers. This is confirmed in Beast Wars 2. Beast Wars 2, yeah, because that is set. I know Beast Wars American is set in prehistoric Earth. The time that Beast Wars, the Optimus Primal and that come from, they are actually from 10,000 years in our future. They just get stuck in the past for that series. Not the same with Beast Wars 2 or Beast Wars Neo. We see other Maximals fighting other Predacons 10,000 years from now. So let's get into it. What we know about Beast Wars and what is the point? The Maximals. The Maximals are the descendants of the Autobots. What happened to the original Autobots isn't very clear. It's not really not you don't really told what happens. There's a couple of bits of lore out there, but I don't think it's canon lore because it's botcon stuff, basically showing that Autobots are still about. They've just changed up. They've became Maximals now, and there's like a whole new generation which seems to have come from nowhere who also call themselves Maximals. For example, we have your original Maximal crew, which consisted of Primal, Rat Trap, Rhinox, and Cheetor for Beast Wars seasons 1 through 3, and then in Beast Machines, minus a couple. Obviously, Beast Wars was a little bit more fast and loose with the let's kill characters here and there, unlike the original Generation 1. That's the original crew. Obviously, Dinobot eventually defects, Black Arachnia eventually defects. We get new characters coming up. We don't get a litany of characters because of the animation style of the time. It was done in a different style, kind of like Reboot, the Canadian kids series Reboot, done the same animation, and back then it was quite costly. So you don't get a lot of characters on either side, and that's the same for Beast Wars and Beast Machines. However, Beast Wars 2 and Beast Wars Neo did not have that problem. They did it in the style that the Japanese Generation 1 were done. We have our main crews, both led by Leo Convoy in Beast Wars 2 and Big Convoy in Beast Wars Neo. We also have their subordinates in the original Beast Wars 2. You have Bighorn and Apache and Tasmanian Kid. I thought that was a weird name, to have before he transformed into Tasmanian Devil. And there were others as well. And Big Convoy, he had his subordinates as well. His were trainees, Maximal trainees, like Break and Stampy. And that's how I actually found out about Beast Wars 2 and Beast Wars Neo. I did a post on the socials for Easter, and it was a Transformers bunny. And it pipped my curiosity because I'm sitting going, I don't remember Transformers bunny anywhere in the lore. So I looked it up, found that I had to catch up on like another between 70 and 80 episodes to fill out my knowledge base just a little bit. Binge watching that in a couple of days. My brain's on overload, as you might be able to tell. But yeah, so the original Beast Wars, Primal has his crew. He's back on prehistoric Earth to stop a new Megatron from not so much try to take over the Earth because there's like nothing there. We're a proto-human, some sort of proto-human kind of era. For 3 seasons, they basically slog it out with the Predacons, the bad guys of these series. And eventually, the good guys defeat the bad guys as per. But it's a long road for a shortcut with Beast Wars, if I'm completely honest. I mean, there isn't like 1,000 episodes. Between like 3 seasons of Beast Wars, you've got 40, 50 episodes, if that, between 3 seasons. Then you've got about another 26 in Beast Machines, which takes it off to a whole different level. Beast Wars 2 and Beast Wars Neo, though set in the future, or their present, 10,000 years from now, it actually takes place, at least the first series takes place in between seasons 1 and 2 of Beast Wars. which is quite weird because if you were to watch, so I suppose if you were to watch them in order, you'd watch Beast Wars American Season 1, then Beast Wars 2, Japanese, then you would watch Seasons 2 and 3 of Beast Wars America, then it would be Beast Wars Neo, and everything leading up to that leads up to Beast Machines. So you end up watching like 70 episodes, getting to know all these characters, only to know, if you've watched Beast Machines, that they're pretty much all wiped out come Beast Machines. I mean, the Sparks, they've been taken by Megatron, but they don't have bodies. Cybertron is empty, it's devoid of life when the Maximals return. The Japanese series are worth a watch just to get to know the characters because, for example, I read Ascension and The Gathering, and I assumed that all these characters were from the comics. I didn't realize they had an on-screen presence. And like I said, it was a picture of Stampy that made me think, where did this come from? But we see, between all the series, we see three convoys, as they're called. We've got Optimus Primal, who evolves into Transmetal Optimus Primal, who evolves into Optimal Optimus, only to be reverted right back to the beginning in Beast Machines. Then you see Leo Convoy throughout Beast Wars 2, and then Big Convoy and Beast Wars Neo. And you see there, because you don't get really a lot of background, most of Beast Wars 2 takes place on the planet Gaia. It's Earth 10,000 years in the future. Okay, you can come to your own conclusions on that. I'm saying it's Earth. It's an Earth-like planet. It's got one moon. The civilization like buggered off to stop the amalgamous. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right because it was subtitled. It was in Japanese. Energy from getting out of hand and getting out of control. Basically, this energy it basically is the lifeblood of Unicron. After its destruction in 2005, was put under the skin of Earth for humans to find, and it reacts to people who are negative, who are bad, who are evil. Really, the Maximals should have clicked, but all this seems to have been unnoticed by the Autobots who are still on Earth. Between all the other Japanese lines, Headmasters, Super God Master Force, Victory, anyone that's on Earth at the time should possibly have noticed this, unless there was some sort of delay. Maybe it had to be found by humans first. It hadn't been found by humans then, so maybe it didn't interact. Maybe it had to react once it was discovered, instead of just sensing the evil had to be discovered physically by someone, So this is Unicron's lifeblood, his life energy after his destruction. This goes on to Beast Wars Neo. Now, we don't, the Maximals nor Predacons know anything about this yet until halfway through the Neo season. 3 identified Transformers turn up and start pounding the crap out of both Maximals and Predacons. And it turns out they are 3 of Unicron's harbingers. And Unicron had his sights set on resurrecting himself again. The Maximals respond as they do. We'll win. We're this. We're that. We're good guys. In the first war, Unicron was defeated. We'll defeat him now. Unicron proceeds to smash the entire Maximal fleet. They have a big fleet, the bigger than you saw in Generation 1 Transformers, like the originals. And I'm pretty sure one of the ships is either Fortress Maximus or a ship based on Fortress Maximus, because he looks the spit of him. He's like the flagship for the Council of Convoys. Yes, there's like a Council of Primes. They all wear the face masks. You can't tell if they have similar body types because they all wear cloaks, But, nice to see they've got a kind of council now. But yeah, Unicron's plans are foiled by Big Convoy and Leo Convoy. Leo Convoy, who he and his crew were lost inside a wormhole at the end of Beast Wars 2. They're back by the end of this. Well, Leo Convoy's back by the end of the season. In the credits of the last episode, you see like Apache and the others. They've all been brought back to Cybertron, to help rebuild. And if you know anything about Beast Machines, it's like watching 2 whole series and just you cringe. You're sitting going, oh God, I know what's going to happen. No matter what happens here, no matter who wins, Megatron comes back and just subjugates the planet. And it's up to like basically Optimus Primal, Black Arachnia, Rat Trap and Cheetor, I think that's it, who are able to escape Megatron's clutches. Well, Beast Wars Megatron, obviously. And then it just goes to pot for like 2 seasons. You don't really see any new characters. Megatron's the only Predacon in it. And that's where you get the Viacons. We'll do videos on the Predacons and the Viacons later. And this might make me sound like a bit of a traitor, but before Beast Wars 2 and Neo, I solidly was against Optimus Primal trying to turn Cybertron into a techno-organic planet. I was against it. I supported Megatron 100% on just wanting the planet to stay the way it was. Cybertron, you know? After watching the other 2 seasons and seeing how many Cybertronians, how many Maximals and Predacons were both reformatted with animal modes, it makes a lot more sense as to why the Oracle Victor Sigma wanted to do that. Why she wanted Optimus Primal to go on a crusade and change the planet, make it techno-organic. Because most of them at this point seem to have techno-organic bodies themselves, transforming from robot to bunnies, Tasmanian devils, bulls, squid, you know? So it makes a little bit more sense now. I still think Primal making that decision himself, even when his own underlings was against him doing that. I mean, Cheetor said to no end, I don't want to do this. And Primal just kept basically putting him back in his place and saying, yeah, no, we're doing this. The Oracle decreed. Man, you did 3 seasons of Beast Wars with no one telling you what to do, bar you. But yeah, the Beast Wars cartoon, all of them, American and Japanese, I'd highly recommend them all. Don't get your hopes up for too much story, for too much in-depth character development, you know. It might certainly be the fact that it was all in Japanese, so I couldn't really get into it. I mean, you had subtitles, but you weren't really watching the cartoons. You were reading the cartoons, you know. By the time you'd read whatever was happening, you've missed the battle. So it was hard to get into. But I am happy there are a lot more Maximal characters out there than I thought, both in comic book and on screen, because I like them. I like the Beast Wars characters, and it also answers a lot of questions as to where Hasbro were getting all these figures all of a sudden and popping them out to people. And it's like, I've never heard of him. I've never heard of him. I've never heard of him. I've heard of him now. There's still more than a few that it's like, okay, obviously repainted this and gave it a crap name because you can't think of anything else. There's still some like that, but so many more have been made now. Once you watch all this stuff, it fills in so many blanks, so many spaces. For example, like what happened to the humans after the Transformers left, what happened with Unicron's remains. It was a good ride, you know. And obviously, we don't just have Beast Wars in the cartoons; we also have them in comics. We don't just have like I was talking about the Gathering and the Ascension comics. We also had a run by IDW. It only lasted about like 17 comics, maybe, and you could tell at the end it was very rushed. Basically, the Predacons and Maximals had to come together to stop the VOC. So, you know, IDW is pretty much done with the Transformers at this point, so they had to tie it up somehow. You didn't really get any new characters there. NYX is a female Maximal was added to the original crew roster. Not really sure why. We live in a more diverse time, I guess. And to be fair, I'm happy that they added someone because the Maximals always seemed pretty outnumbered by the Preds. But I'm glad they added someone else. They didn't need to necessarily make it a female, but at the end of the day, I was entertained. I didn't care. You also had the War for Cybertron trilogy, Kingdom, bringing back several fan favorites. You had Primal, Rhinox, Rat Trap, Cheetor, plus straight from the get-go, Air Razor and Tigertron, who were fighting Predacons on prehistoric Earth when the Autobots crash land, looking for the Allspark. Eventually, after a lot of hilarious adventures, well, a lot of hilarious episodes, one big adventure, basically, and they all go home to Cybertron. And the Maximals and Autobots live together in peace, along with the Decepticons and Predacons, you know? Kind of weird. Not bad at all. Just a little bit weird, especially now that I've seen all this other stuff. You know, it's an eye opener. Now, if you don't know where you can find Beast Wars. I mean, if you don't have like the DVDs or you don't have them on Blu-ray, all of them are on YouTube. All of them. Beast Wars, Beast Machines, Beast Wars 2, Beast Wars Neo. And Beast Wars 2 also includes a straight to cartoon film. I think it's The Curse of Leo Convoy or Leo Convoy in Danger, it's called. It's like basically it's just like double the length of a normal episode. Plus, and we get special guest star Optimus Primal in it. Yay! You know, we get to see Optimus Primal not in Beast Wars animation. That was quite nice. That was quite nice. I'm not gonna lie, I like that. Just seeing him and Leo Convoy teaming up. It's like once Leo Convoy returns in Neo, you know, you see him and Big Convoy teaming up. You know, it's nice to see. Obviously, the face masks have now become, well, like a staple for, I'm assuming, maximal leaders or at least commanders. I mean, Optimus Prime had it, but no one else seemed to ever have a face mask, and now everyone does. I take that back. Pretty sure Star Saber had one, but then that was like two of many leaders. But yeah, that's it's pretty much it on the Maximal front. You can find all those on YouTube, all the cartoons on YouTube if that takes your fancy. There are some good episodes. I would favour Neo over Beast Wars 2. Beast Wars 2 is more of a setting up series for Neo. Neo eventually gets into background stories, Unicron, all that kind of stuff. You know, it was my favourite of the two seasons, you know. But yeah. I hope you enjoyed that little bit of maximal info. Next time I'll be talking about the Predacons, and after that, so many other videos, just basically from a random mind of me. So until then, stay safe, roll out, and I'll see you next time.